Right now for more analysis, national security expert and the author of the best-selling book, Defeating Jihad, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Dr. Gorka, welcome. Good to have you here. I guess the title kind of says it all. I mean, they clearly recognized that this could be a problem for them. So why wasn't it shut down earlier in light of the fact that she knew she was going to run for president?
I think because of what your colleague in Washington has divulged to us. It's simply a case of the rules don't apply to us. Let the peasants obey the rules that apply to everybody else. But if you work in the Clinton State Department, if you work for the Clinton Foundation, you're above all of that. You know, the government email is clunky. So who cares if we're talking about sensitive issues? This isn't about the national security of America. It's not about the State Department. It's about us. It's about the Clinton Corporation. What we have here is, in effect, political a corruption at an institutional level.
It seems, again, they recognized on one level that this would be a problem, that this could come back to haunt them. Do you think her inability to actually see this herself, I mean, these are the people around her, right, the campaign managers and all the people that are doing the sort of day-to-day work, her inability to recognize herself that this was a problem, how does that affect your fundamental view of her ability to lead our country?
Look, you're always going to have powerful people, to a certain extent, always have a certain bubble around them, yes? There's a lot of yes men, a lot of yes women. Mm-hmm. But this is beyond that. Let's just look at one issue. Clinton Cash has given us scores of issues. Let's look at one issue. Mm-hmm. Uranium is a strategic national asset. Why? Because you make nuclear bombs out of it. When she was Secretary of State, we now know she had to sign off on the sale of 20% of our uranium as a nation to Russian companies that were linked directly to the Kremlin. She signs off on that as her husband, through the foundation, is getting $140 million from the same companies. This is money laundering in the political world. This is pay for play at the hundreds of millions of dollars level.
You know, look, it's a big charge, and it's scary to think that this is actually happening, and yet you look at some of the money that was exchanging hands, and it certainly raises a lot of eyebrows and a lot of questions. Why is the mainstream media not more into this story? Do you think? I mean, is it too hard? Is it too complicated? You know, you got to follow the money, or is it simply that they are solving for the equation that they want Hillary Clinton to win, and they don't want to bring up this stuff?
I think, you know, it's easy to say, well, every time they dump 30,000 emails, you actually have to work.
You have to read them, yeah.
There are some journalists who don't want to work too hard. I think it's a bit more than lazy journalists. It is about the establishment, except for places like Fox and Breitbart. These people are rooting. Look at the donations from media to Hillary. 90% of journalists donating to a political campaign donate to the DNC.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I mean, to me, it's wild that a journalist is out there donating to a political right. You know, activist group to begin with. You know, I think that clearly is a bias, unless you're a columnist and an opinion maker.
Not if you're a journalist.
You shouldn't be, as a journalist, donating to one side or the other anyway. Dr. Gorka, always good to have you here. Thank you.
Great to be here, Trish.